Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Nerdarchist Ryan, and today I'm joined by
Nerdarchist Dave.
Nerdarchist Ted.
And in this GM 911, we have Thrun Magic Man asking the question of how do we link together and tie in player pack story.
If you have a GM 911 and you want Nerdarchy to help you, you can send us your GM 911 at nerdarchy@gmail.com or visit the forums over at nerdarchy.com.
Okay, so in this we have a monk who's just kind of a wandering healer. Mm-hmm. We have a fighter who is apparently from another land and some grievous tragedy happened that he's trying to undo or make better, set right. And we have a rogue who is part of a treasure hunters guild. And then lastly, we have a bard who has a revenge plot against Drow, although we don't know the specifics of it.
Right, we don't have the specifics of anything.
Everything's very vague. And well, you know what? Because what he said is his players only all give him one sentence, so I feel like each one of those is about one sentence.
Yeah, that's all you need, really. Like, for the fighter, you can easily just introduce things into the campaign world from that place that he's from and see what he bites on.
Yeah,
you know, like you can experiment with different things. For the bard, he wants to get revenge against Drow. Well, maybe the Drow still weren't done with him yet either.
Well, what if the Drow are part of this great tragedy?
Yeah, the Drow inflicted it on the fighter. The wandering mystic, the wandering healer monk, like a great tragedy happened, and his skills would be very well, would be very well deployed against that.
He's going to go wherever there is
suffering.
A need. So therefore,
we have three people tied together. Now, who are we left with? The rogue treasure hunter. Well, what if there was a weapon or some sort of artifact?
He's from a treasure hunter guild, which is perfect. That's a quest giver.
Well, yeah, a quest giver, absolutely. And like, what if the thing that helps undo this tragedy, or like a weapon against the Drow or whatever, because they're all tied together, a piece of that mystery, so you can have like a what's the Daniel Brown thing where Tom Hanks movie where the National Treasure, or no, that was
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. But anyway, like, or Da Vinci Code type of stuff, where like they're looking for stuff to help against the Drow, right?
Drow are sensitive to sunlight, so what if you had a weapon that mimicked that kind of effect?
Right.
Oh, look at this.
A sunblade or whatever.
This weapon grants them disadvantage if they're within visibility of it. Yeah. Oh dear Lord, what kind of nightmare could that enact upon a Drow
Or like
army?
an arsenal of stuff where like each of the party members can get some sort of sun-producing item.
Right.
I would set aside the revenge and the tragedy for a little while, for the purpose of the Drow are tied to the tragedy, but maybe the fighter doesn't know that the Drow are responsible.
We need some time to like build and tease out these plots, but like high level, like we just tied all four backgrounds together in about a paragraph. So high level, like that's where your campaign could end.
Yeah.
Sure. I just want to offer up some execution.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah. We needed to drag this out because otherwise, like that could happen in like 6 sessions worth of play. So we need this to
go. Well, so I would have the bard slowly have facts, feed the facts to the bard slowly, that when the fighter hears them, I go, oh, wait a minute, and it'll click. Yeah. So that you can start tying things together. And you can do it over time. It doesn't have to be right away. As a GM, it gives you time to think about it.
Need to figure out, how long does the DM want the story arc to be? Is this a 1 to 20 session? Is this a Scott Garibay 357 situation? We don't know what level this party is, and we don't know what.
Well, it doesn't matter what level. It's more importantly how long do you want this campaign to go on for? Right?
We don't know.
Do you want a 1-year game, 2-year game? How long are your players going to be around? Even like, are people going to go away for college or whatever? Like that stuff matters. Other game stuff.
Yeah. So I would just start off with basing things around the rogue and the treasure hunters guild. Yeah. And obviously if he's doing that, he needs to recruit people. The fighter's kind of displaced with nothing better to do. The bard is going to need allies, is not quite ready to go handling the Drow all by himself yet. I think it's easy to, a vagabond monk type character is always easy to kind of work into things.
Well, anyone who's a wandering healer, he's going to go wherever there's need.
Yeah.
So
well, also too, so like while they're hunting for these treasures, like either they find like rival agencies that are going for them too, that they eventually can uncover that they're hired by the Drow, like a Drow agent like hired them, that could eventually come out, or eventually it could be actually Drow that are going to look for these things that they're also looking for. So you start to like thread these things together, because if it is a weapon to like bring down the drow enemies, well, they're going to want to find them to suppress them, right? So that's going to be a part of it. Some encounters and adventures.
Or,
you have too.
or even like the bard, maybe he's like, well, I need more information on the drow, and he goes to this treasure hunters guild because they're known for sacking lost civilizations and things like that. So that's
they gave
how
him the sack.
Yeah, so that's how he can connect with the rogue easy enough, and the rogue is probably looking for muscle if he's treasure hunting, going to dangerous places. So who do you need? You need a fighter. Obviously, if you're going to go places where people are going to try and take you apart, you need someone to put you back together. So they might hear about this wandering monk and be like, "Hey, why don't you wander over yonder here?"
Yeah.
And
plus, like, monks are great at getting things out of precarious situations with all their suite of abilities as well. Like sometimes the rogue is even way outclassed by the things the monk can do. So
right, you might need something. You might need some
parkour expertise
skills.
of like, there's this thing all the way up there. Could you get that? I know falling tends to not really affect you as much. You don't get to fall apart as easily as some people do when that comes to happen. So
yeah, so there's some ideas like I really think one sentence is perfect, because if you have like 3 paragraphs, sometimes it becomes a bit much and can weigh you down.
And the other great thing about the one sentence background is
it's open.
It's open, so as the campaign goes on, you have the ability to insert either out of game talk to the player and be like, look, I've got this great idea, can I do something with this?
Yeah, just feed the information into the players.
And it's like, oh yeah, that sounds cool, they can put it out there, and you can develop the backstory. How many times do you watch a television show where they take you from this point, and here you learn about this thing that happened here, and here you learn about this thing that happened
flashbacks.
here.
Flashbacks happen a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like too, like the player that gives you that open-ended kind of backstory or background is going to be more open to you inserting other things into it. Whereas someone who writes out a detailed backstory, they're probably not going to want you to change anything.
I wrote like a 2-page backstory for my last character, and you're just like, yeah, I'll read that later.
Yeah.
Whatever. We don't need this. It's like a one-shot or something too.
Yeah. Yeah. With a one-shot, for the love of whatever, solely, do not write like paragraphs upon paragraphs. It'll never come into play.
Nobody cares.
Unless you want to write your own short fiction, and then if you enjoy it, fine.
Yeah.
So if you have any suggestions for Thune Magic Man, go ahead and put it down in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, even subscribe.
You can patronize us in a good way over on Patreon.
Hang out with us over at nerdarchy.com.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.